Welcome to another episode of Dark Horse Skiing. We know you guys have been asking for it. We wanted to bring it to you. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the SkiErg today. Let's get into it. What we are talking about today is a sprint start on the machine. Now, the sprint start, if you have worked on the sprint start with rowing, is going to be very similar in that our objective with any Concept2 machine when it comes to a start is to get the flywheel up and moving as quickly as possible so that we can take the split down. By getting the flywheel spinning, we are taking the split down. We're also utilizing our energy systems to help us get free speed. Okay, that phosphocreatine energy system gives us a little bit of free speed that is basically a use it or lose it system. Meaning if I come sprinting out of the gates, I have this energy store that's going to get used up whether I come out slow and just settle into an aerobic pace, or if I come out of the gates blasting and then curb it before I hit the transition point on that energy system and try to push it too far. Now, what we are looking for here is basically, if you were to think about the rowing stroke, we usually work with a working front to back, meaning we start with a half slide stroke, a half slide stroke, then a 3/4, full, and then 10 full slide strokes, all for power. But we do that with removing the body swing. So it goes half, 3/4, full, plus 10 full. None of those 15 strokes have a body swing to them. And we do that to try and just get the strokes done quickly while also putting as much juice on the handle as possible. Well, skiing is a top-down movement, not a bottom-up movement, which is why we love this machine too. Why it's so complementary, because rowing is lower extremity dominant, dynamic hip opening, right, and posterior chain. Whereas this machine is upper extremity dominant, dynamic hip closing, and anterior chain focused. So we get to think almost in reverse, how if we were doing that for rowing, how do we do it for skiing? Well, in this case, we're going to similarly work half, 3/4, full, and then we're going to juice it for about 10 strokes. So it's going to give us 15 total strokes. Now, that brings us to the question of what does a half slide stroke look like with skiing? What does a 3/4 slide look like? And what does a full look like? Well, let's show you, okay? Now, if you haven't gone through our other SkiErg videos, do go back and take a look. But this is going to come back a little bit to what we've done with drill work in the past, where we work simply engaging anterior chain, right? We work the crunch. That crunch is what establishes tension to start. We're going to use that same concept to get our half slide, meaning that half slide, we are not trying to rip that handle all the way down. We are trying to engage. Again, we've talked in the past about this concept of imagine you're holding a beach ball with the handles in your hands. You're not bringing your knuckles together. You're just nicely holding this beach ball up here. You're not reaching with the arms. Elbows are bent at about 90 degrees. And if you want to get tall, you do it by getting up on the toes, not by reaching with the hands. All right? So we're imagining that beach ball, and we're using a crunch, not a drop of the hips. We are actually crunching down, thinking almost a hollow position. That is our half slide stroke. Okay, that's the beginning of our sprint start. From there, we are going to translate that into, now we connect with the lat and start to bring that elbow through. That's going to be our 3/4 slide. Again, always initiating with the crunch, not by trying to drop the hips. It's about crunching forward. All right, again, thinking about that beach ball. Don't forget this concept. We want to live here, okay? And the other side of it is that good skiing is bad posture, if you will. All right, we're not trying to maintain rigid posture. Imagine this is actually skiing, and this is a pole. I'm trying to lean on the pole to put my pressure into it to propel me forward. If you can think about that, that gives you an excellent paradigm shift for how to connect with these handles, which is why we don't reach up here. Imagine I have actual ski poles. This is a hard position to pry from. Here though, I can leverage myself on the top of that handle to push down and propel my body forward. All right, so we've established the half, the 3/4, and then the full is simply the completion. It's driving those hands through right past the knees. Okay, we're not trying to squat down further. We are simply starting with that crunch. Then we continue through with the elbows. and then you snap those arms through. Any squatting that you do is simply a byproduct of that crunch and dropping your momentum onto the handles, or leaning into the poles, if you will. All right, so we're gonna go half, half, 3/4, full, full, and then 10 full to really try and get onto the power. And we're gonna try and drop the split, and we'll see how low we can take this split with our start. All right, I'm gonna do this one time through so you guys can see it, and then I'll try to recover while talking to you and breathing through it. All right, so half, half, 3/4, full, full, plus 10. Here we go. And then settle into my pace, okay? That would be my 15 stroke sprint start as I'm getting skiing on this machine. But that is our sprint start, guys. Use it or lose it. Again, the same rules apply to a sprint start on this machine as they do to a sprint start on the rower. Number one, if skiing is the first part of the workout, we can use it. Number two, the distance. In rowing, it's 2,000 meters or less. Anything over 2,000 meters is too much. Sprint start's gonna be relatively ineffective, okay? In skiing, we're gonna cut that down a little bit. It's gonna be 1,500 meters. So 1,500 meters or less, it's gonna be effective. Over, you start to lose some of the effectiveness because of the number of strokes you end up having to take. All right? So keep that in mind. Is it the beginning of the workout? If it's not, don't even bother with the sprint start. Just settle in to nice, long, rhythmic strokes, okay? And from there, so again, if it is the first thing, use that sprint start. If it's not, cut it out. Number two, is it 1,500 meters or less? That's your checklist. Yes, yes, great. Use the sprint start, and then you consider it throughout the workout. So let's imagine Jackie is an example. If you don't know Jackie, it's a 1,000-meter row. Then it is 50 thrusters with an empty bar and 30 pull-ups, okay? If I were to do that workout from beginning to end with skiing instead of rowing, then yes, I would use the sprint start in that workout, okay? Now, if I took that workout and I divided it into 2 rounds, so 500-meter ski, 25 thrusters, 15 pull-ups, 2 rounds, I would use it the first round, but not the second. Again, because I've already gone aerobic, and because it's not the first part of the workout. So therefore, I won't use the sprint start the second time through. Now let's say I took that workout and I flipped it in reverse. I did 30 pull-ups, 50 thrusters, and then I skied 1,000 meters. Would I do it? Yet, because we are coming to it at the end of the workout. I've already gone aerobic. It's just not gonna be effective for me. All right? Guys, that is using the sprint start for the SkiErg. Welcome back to Dark Horse Skiing. Go sign up for our newsletter, The Hustler's Guide to Rowing, where you will get our latest video and blog article every Tuesday morning in your inbox. And don't forget to go to our website, where you guys are going to find programming and coaching online in your phone, on your computer, so that you can be coached at home and get better for what you want to be doing. Guys, as always, we will see you on the other side.